welcome back to the morning show here on Horizon News. Joining us now is Ojy Okpe with stories trending around the world. Hey Ojy, good morning.
Good morning, Leila.
Hello,
How are
Ojy.
you? Hi, Dr. Lati. Good morning, that way. Good morning, Tundun. How are you?
Yeah.
And good morning to you, viewers. We begin What's Trending today with an exciting news under entertainment. Nigerian Afrofusion artist Burna Boy has been nominated for the 62nd Grammy Awards. The nomination was announced in a statement yesterday on the Grammy Awards website. Burna Boy was shortlisted for his album African Giant in the Best World Music Album category. The category is for albums containing at least 51% playing time of new vocal or instrumental world music recordings and is one of the 84 categories being contested by artists from different parts of the world. The winner will be announced at an event slated for Sunday, January 26th next year. Other Nigerians that have been nominated under that category include Seun and Femi Anikulapo Kuti and King Sunny Ade. It's been a fantastic year for Burna Boy. I mean, this year alone, I was just like, I had to write a list of his awards. This year alone, he's been nominated for the MTV EMAs. He won the Best Africa Act. He also was the winner of the Best International Act for BET. He took home 4 awards at the Sound City Awards, winner of 2 awards at the 2019 Headies, and also performed at Coachella and featured on Beyonce's Lion King album. I mean, this year is just a fantastic year for him.
And he was one of few artists with a solo song on that album too.
Yes,
he's had the best year.
While Burna Boy is nominated for his album African Giant, we also have Bankuli and Mr. Easy on the Beyonce album nominated as well.
Amazing. Yeah. Congratulations.
It's an amazing, amazing time for
Nigeria. So I hope next year starts off for Burna Boy with a Grammy.
Yes.
That would be amazing.
Ojy, I don't know whether you saw the video that people have been circulating, that his grandfather prayed for him.
Oh.
And the grandfather's prayer is that he will be nominated for the Grammy Award and also win it.
Oh.
And people have been circulating that to say, we're a very religious country, that indeed prayers work.
Yes.
And that is, maternal grandfather, Mr. Benson Idonije, who was, an associate of Fela, and who has written, a very interesting book, a very informative and authoritative book on Fela. So, the mother, I think, also sang. So this is also the DNA of Burna Boy. There is music in his DNA, and he continues to excel. So we wish him well.
Yes.
And we hope that he wins
the
Grammy.
It back home.
And that will then
he
become,
will.
if he wins, the first Nigerian
Not really.
to win it.
To win it, yes.
There has been a Nigerian.
Who won the Grammy?
Who won the Grammy. His name is Sikiru Adepoju.
Hasn't Sade also won a Grammy?
He's based in the US.
He's Nigerian.
Nigerian
And he got
Grammy.
2 Grammys, actually.
Brilliant.
One in 2000, I believe, in 1999, and one in 2000.
Has Sade won a Grammy? I don't know why I feel like she has. She hasn't.
But King Sunny Ade hasn't won one. He was
No,
wrong.
he was nominated.
He was wrong.
Yeah, this Sikiru Adepoju, what does he sing? What genre?
Well, he specializes
Is he
in
not
the
a
talking
drummer?
drum.
He's a
Yes,
drummer.
he's underneath an artist called, I believe, the Mickey Hart's group drum project.
He's based in the US.
Yes.
I know, but we're talking about our home-based,
It doesn't matter.
contemporary.
Nigerian, Dr. Basi. Well, let's move over to South Africa now. The Africans Unite concert that was supposed to be headlined by Burna Boy have been cancelled following increasing threats of violence. In a joint statement released by the organizers of the concert, the decision to cancel the concert comes after the call from the Swanee Entertainment Collective to boycott the concert in Swanee. With the increasing threats of violence and without any government intervention, they were prompted to take the threats and warnings seriously. The concert was supposed to encourage unity among Africans in the fight against xenophobia, with part of the proceeds being donated to the victims of South Africa's most recent xenophobic violence. Many users on social media and Twitter had mixed reactions to the news. One South African user, MamCB, said, "South Africans are trash. You guys really denied a guy who said I'd come to unite us as Africans and listen to that rubbish who will never be relevant to the world. I really hate you guys. At Burna Boy, we love you and appreciate you. Hopefully, I get to see you live one day." Then another user, also South Africa, Gorgeous Barbie, said, I'm very happy about this Burna Boy and Africa Unites concert being cancelled. Firstly, it wasn't about uniting Africans. Those organizers were being opportunistic, and it wasn't well organized. You can tell about their timing. They just wanted to capitalize on the xenophobia trend.
How cynical.
I know.
Well, you know what? Let's keep him safe so he can go and get his Grammy next year.
Exactly.
But it's really sad, though. I don't understand why people will be so brash.
No, but for me, it's typical of the South African government. That silence, which really means
That was-
acquiescence,
yes, absolutely.
is just what they do.
That's what they do. I'm not surprised, to be honest with you. I'm really not. But like I said, keep him safe. He's going to go get a Grammy next year. It's not.
Anyway,
it's
it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yes.
I mean, the organizers, did an assessment of the response, not just from the Shwane collective, but also from other South Africans. And, they've taken the right decision, in my view, not to put the lives of the artists and the audience that will participate, at risk.
Right.
So I think it's better for everybody, that they've cancelled it.
Right, but
they can do it at another time, when the mood.
But I would have thought that they would drop Burna Boy and pick another artist.
Well, that was the original plan. But
I would have thought they would do that as opposed to
no, that was the
cancelling
original
project.
story. That Burna Boy had been removed from the concert.
That he withdrew from the concert.
No, not that he withdrew. That they've decided to,
Remove
ask him not to come. But they then went the additional step of even cancelling the concert.
Which doesn't make sense
And I
to
think
me.
that is fine.
They should have just removed Burna Boy, continued with the concert,
they heard,
and then do the proceed.
But maybe they heard that the whole situation was already tainted, so that by the time it's time to replace him with somebody else, the threats will not subside.
No, if you remove only Burna Boy, then it means that you have allowed yourself to be intimidated by the mob, by the racist mob, represented by the Shwane collective, right? Now, and then you create some kind of issue around Burna Boy himself. Well, it's better
The
to
issue,
just put on hold the entire
issue
concert.
had already been created. I mean, I'm about the violence. I'm about uniting Africa, and I'm about that donation that we're going to the victims of xenophobia. If they really were talking about that whole idea of uniting Africa and donating money to victims of xenophobia, they should have come.
But talk is one thing. Is that really what the people represent? This is what Tundum was saying. That they're just not that type of people. Do South Africans really want change right now? Do they really want Africa to unite? They're not passing that narrative.
Really sad. Well, let's head over to the UK now. Prince Andrew has confirmed that he's stepping back from public duties in an attempt to contain the firestorm over his ties to the disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein that threatened to scorch the entire British royal family. The Duke of York said he deeply sympathizes with the victims of the disgraced financier and is willing to help any appropriate law enforcement agency with their investigations. His announcement comes days after the Prince's widely criticized TV interview, which saw the Prince accused of utterly lacking compassion for the victims of Epstein, who killed himself earlier this year. Following the news, a number of royal commentators said they were not surprised about the Prince's announcement.
In the most spectacular way, but I'm not surprised that he stepped back. I was saying as such on Monday. I was tweeting as such on Sunday that it was inevitable. It couldn't go on like this. The press has been vociferous in its attack, in its reporting, and he now needs to and has decided to step back. He can now take stock of where his future lies. Well, that's only a question that he can answer. Why did he do it? I doubt whether he sought advice, and if he did seek advice, I understand it would have been from his private secretary, Amanda Thirsk. Certainly the press office, communications office of Buckingham Palace probably knew nothing about it. It's something that he probably felt that it was a good thing to do to clear his name. If he thought it was crisis management, well, it's created a crisis rather than managing it. And as a result of that crisis, he's had to now step back from all public duties. There were a lot of reports recently over the past few weeks of the Queen going to church with Andrew, and they're all full of smiles. Well, she might be Queen, she might be the head of state, but she's also a mother, and she's Andrew's mother, and therefore she would support him in terms of public appearance, probably not support him given what he has done. It would have been very difficult for her to accept what he's done, the friends that he's kept, the allegations that have come out. She doesn't need this at 93, and unfortunately she doesn't have the same support today from the Duke of Edinburgh as she had years ago, because he's sort of retired from public life. He's in the background. He spends most of his time at Sandringham, so she hasn't got that sort of man side by side to sort of bounce off her problems. So she's been tackling this alone, plus the fact that Prince of Wales, Duchess of Cornwall are in New Zealand, and it doesn't.
Well, all this debacle says to me is your character is your destiny. I remember when I was a child in the UK, all the headlines, he was always referred to as Randy Andy. He's the Duke of York. You know the childhood nursery rhyme, the grand old Duke of York had 10,000 men. They were like, oh, Andrew has 10,000 women. And it's just so sad that the area of women, sex, and in this case, not even women, girls, was his undoing. Yes, was his undoing. It is completely inappropriate. Then he now became Air Miles Andy for his sort of proclivity towards this champagne lifestyle, jet setting with billionaires, of dubious character. So all of this really was a disaster waiting to happen to Prince Andrew.
It was all unfolding.
And yes, and he's done the right thing by just stepping back so he does not continue to sully his mother's name and the firm, as they call it. Yes, because that interview was a disaster. It even tells you about his character. Did you hear what he was saying? That he was friends with Epstein and he had to go and break off the friendship. You're not talking about somebody who shoplifted. You're talking about somebody who trafficked and raped children, minors, And then he has to fly. You can't call him and tell him, I can't be friends with you.
He said he was going to be
he said he had to go there and he spent 4 days. Does it take you 4 days? And then this whole thing of, oh, I don't sweat because of the Falklands War. He sounded completely bonkers. And he sounded so, and he's a father of 2 daughters.
And that's what makes it even just that bit more shameful.
Yes. So for me, he does have to step aside. And I think the storm will blow over eventually. We always have royal scandals, but not as bad as this, I have to say. But maybe in a few years, the storm might blow over. But this is, for me, very sad.
It's good he stepped down and also apologized.
He says he's withdrawing for the foreseeable future. That foreseeable future, we don't know what it means. He was born into public life. Now he has had to go back to private life. And the monarchy is shaking. The palace is in crisis. We're told that he was asked to hold back by the Queen and Prince Charles. But Gloria Alfred, a lawyer, and her daughter, they raised the issue that he cannot just say he will cooperate with law enforcement agencies. He must voluntarily and without delay, submit himself for interrogation by the FBI. That's the suggestion. But it's a disaster, both for the palace and for him.
And we cannot learn from this. This is not about him. It's about, we should all learn.
Well, thank you, Ojy.